Hey, hey, welcome, aspiring entrepreneurs. I love being here with you. Today, we're talking about the art of storytelling. Have you ever wondered how to capture attention, build trust, and inspire action within your brand? Storytelling is your secret weapon, if you didn't already know. So, let's talk about how stories resonate deeply within your audience, turning them into loyal customers and brand advocates. How do you make your story unforgettable? Or how do you draw people in as you're telling a story? Whether you're new to storytelling or you're just trying to refine your approach, I'm going to help you today connect authentically with your audience. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the ways that you can do this. I have to tell you that as you are growing as an entrepreneur, one of the things that I have learned is people want to know about you. They want to know your success stories, your challenges, how you got started. They want to know all of the things. And especially when it comes to how you can help them, they want to know. And so I continue to share stories. I shared one today about it was a simple story, but the audience was drawn in about it was as simple as looking at the camera when you're on a Zoom. And some of the tips that I gave is the various types of cameras that I particularly use. And I just realized that my camera or my mic is not that close to me, so I'm gonna draw it closer to me here. Um, and then I drop my pen. But talking about the various different types of cameras and the tips and tricks that you can use when it comes to help people um, do things or help them grow in their business, they want to know about those things. It helps people see the human side of your brand. And that helps people build trust and it helps people foster a deeper emotional connection with you. And one of the things that I brought up was how oftentimes when I'm on a Zoom and I see people looking over here the entire time that they're on a Zoom and realizing that they're watching the people or maybe the speaker, but their camera is over here and you see the side of their head or their ear the entire time. And that bothers me. And they were like, oh my gosh, that bothers me too. But I never realized what was going on there. And I said, they don't focus on the camera and where the camera's at. They're into watching people over here and don't realize that people are seeing them over here. And so when you're sharing your story, whether it's your story about how you built your business, I'm talking about multiple types of stories here, but it doesn't matter. It's all about how you draw people in to the story that builds the trust factor, that builds this deep emotional connection that draws the people. And your ultimate goal on some of your stories is to get the person to connect to you, want to learn from you, to buy business from you, and to not necessarily. Some of the things that I'm hearing today is people are moving from shiny object to shiny object syndrome, and they're struggling to find the one person that can help them to grow. You'll hear more about that at the end here of the podcast today. I have been there. I have done that. And so, using your stories to draw people to you and mastering storytelling can help you communicate your unique value and help you stand out in a way that resonates with your audience needs, their desires, and their challenges. And it helps you to be able to let them know how you in turn can assist them and help them. And so as I was sharing the story today about the cameras that I use, they were like, I have to have that specific type of camera, because I was telling them some of the tips that I use to help me get used to looking directly into the camera when I talk. And so when I interview people on a podcast, I don't look at those people. Those people are way down here at the bottom of my screen at about an inch tall. I may see them moving their hands like I'm moving mine. I may see them doing things, but they're a shadow in my eyesight, and I don't even look at them. I don't know what they're doing because I'm looking straight at the camera that is directly stuck to my monitor, and I'm looking straight at you. And I have another one that sets up on top of my monitor that is another one that I use for various different things so that I can look up there for other things that I do. And so as I was sharing that story, the people were drawn in because they wanted to know more about that and how that particular thing can help them. So, stories help you tell and help you sell depending upon what it is that you are sharing. So, every great story has your brand um, in it somehow, some way, or it has a customer, a conflict, your audience's pain point. So, for example, these particular individuals are like, I need to understand how you're doing what you're doing so I too can do that. I initially said that I struggled prior to some of the techniques that I used. Is when I was on a Zoom or meeting or whatever and had the gallery and all of these little blocks of people, I wanted to look at what everybody was doing. But what I began to do was shrink my monitor screen or the Zoom screen to focus in on just the people I wanted to see. So it was minimized to just where my screen was and I was looking directly at them. But things that I also did was put a smiley face up at the camera dot, and that reminded me that I always needed to be smiling. I also had a picture of an elderly man who it was very easy for me to talk to on camera. This was way back when I was very camera shy. I would have that picture of him because I could talk to him easily. And he was the face that I saw when I spoke to everybody. So it was almost like you hear of your customer avatar. You're speaking to one person. He was my one person that I spoke to, regardless of who I was talking to. So I might be talking to you, but I saw him. And because it was easy for me to have that conversation with him. And that is a technique that I share with everybody. That story always draws people in because it's a pain point that they have about showing up on camera. And so they're like, I love that idea. And so I'm like, if your camera is facing a wall, and you don't want to put it right beside your camera lens, put it on the wall so that you can see that individual, that it's easy to talk to. If you don't have any problems talking to me, put my picture. If you don't have problems talking to your grandparents or whomever, or whoever your avatar is, put that picture of that person back behind. And then remember to smile as you are on candid camera, if you will. So I have just made it a habit that I now look at the camera when I'm talking and I don't look at the people. So that just makes it a lot easier for me. And then if I need to have notes, bullet points, or a script or whatever, it's easy for me to have that back behind the camera, if you will, so that I can see that back behind the camera. And they were like, wow, that's phenomenal. Where do I get the camera? And so I need the link to get the camera, hence affiliate marketing there, so that you can make a commission off of sending them the link to the actual camera that you use. So you can see how helping people with their pain points, giving them a resolution, which is your solution to their pain point in telling a story. And that was not even planned. That just what came up with in conversation and then sharing that. It happens naturally. Oftentimes, those stories happen naturally, but can end up with you making a sale, depending upon what it is that you're talking about, especially if you're in affiliate marketing, which I would love to share more with you about. And so those are some of the things that I'm talking to my audience about right now. But when you break down storytelling frameworks like the hero's journey, showing you how to structure narratives that are both engaging and actionable, this subtopic provides the building blocks for crafting any story. So let me swallow and take a breath there, because that was a lot. And I hope that you understood that particular story and how, because it just happened today, as I was going to talk about the art of storytelling and how that particular thing ended up in, more than likely, a commission sale. So your unique story context, what does that look like? As entrepreneurs, you yourself often have personal experiences, pivotal moments that inspire business. When people ask me, how do I do what I do and show up online and just talk? Trust me, that's not been something that I've always been able to do. When I worked in corporate, how did I do what I did? It was a journey. Oftentimes when I tell people, my story actually starts with, I've not always been able to speak. When I was in high school and I had to do anything oral in front of the class, I took a 0. I could not do it. I missed either that day of school, or I asked the teacher to give me a 0, because I would not stand up in front of the class to do it. I couldn't do it. It made me deathly sick to do it. And people look at me today and they're like, how? Because you do it today. It took me working in my corporate job and the bank president making me do it. He said, you are going to learn this new product. You're going to teach this new product. I'm going to be right there with you, basically holding your hand, and you're going to do it. I was scared crapless, but I had to do it. When I did it, I was so excited afterwards. And I said, and I quote, that was so much fun. When can I do it again? And that was the pivotal moment that I knew that I wanted to be in training and that I wanted to speak more. That's when my mouth opened, and I've not shut up since. And so you have these stories that you're going to craft authentically that are going to set you apart from other people. And those are things that you're going to start sharing in your business that helps take you where you're going to lead other people in the journey, in their journey. So, um, again, these can set your brand apart. And I got distracted because my sidekick here has decided to get up in my chair while we've been talking, and now he's raising his little head. um, I have just gotten over it. These are things that years ago this would have never happened, and now work from home is our pets are part of our business, right? So those of you that, that don't know, this is Benji, and Benji is my sidekick. We just have to hope that Benji doesn't start barking. But anyway, okay, so um and I apologize because I lost my train of thought here. But we're going to focus on how to connect these stories to your audience's values and their expectations. So, in today's digital age, I'll call it, in this online space, it's not enough to just tell your story one time and be done with it. You have to be consistent with your story. I can't tell you how many times I've told my story about not being able to speak in public, not being able to speak in front of a crowd, and being back in high school and taking a 0. Is that embarrassing? Absolutely, it is. I had to get vulnerable to tell that story. Do I want people knowing that all through high school I took 0s? No. But has it helped other people? Absolutely, it has, because the thing that people struggle with the most is talking in public, getting on camera and talking. And so that story has helped so many people. And then what happened from there started my success journey in my corporate career. And that journey has inspired what I'm actually doing today. And so that is my brand. That is how I got to where I am today. Had it not been for that, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I'm so thankful for those embarrassing moments so that I can be here telling you about that today. So again, I've told the story more than once. It has to be told. You have to be consistent, and you have to tailor it for the audience. And so when I say the audience, it's different for here on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you're listening, you watching it here on YouTube, seeing it on Substack, on my website, on Facebook, on Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever it may be that you end up seeing this. But the subtopic covers how to adapt your narrative for social media, for all of these things. Again, podcasts, blogs, videos, making sure that you reach and engage the people that you're trying to reach. And then listeners will learn strategies for maintaining their brand voice while using the unique strengths for each platform. People are going to learn from your stories and grow from that. Look at my sidekick. He is a mess. OMG, he's a ham. And so, using customer stories, I've been able to use other people's stories myself, learn from them, and create things to use in my business. I've been able to use my stories to help other people learn and grow from them. So, you also build trust from people by learning their stories. You also are able to say, if she can do it, I can do it. I don't have a master's degree. I don't have a PhD other than in massive learning from hands on. Your customers' experiences are one of the most powerful storytelling tools in your arsenal. Featuring your authentic testimonials and reviews and success stories don't only build credibility, but it demonstrates your brand's value in action. That's the best thing that you can have in your toolkit today is testimonials and reviews. And we'll discuss in another lesson how to collect those and integrate those into your overall narrative to inspire your people into trust and loyalty. We don't have time for that today, but we'll do it another day. But turning your struggles into selling points, challenges, and failures often are the most relatable parts of any story. When you share those, people can relate. And that's what gets other people through the journey. You can also help people to avoid what you've been through. And that's one of the things that I love about what I'm going through is I'm helping people avoid some of the pitfalls that I've had. But I also have mentors that are helping me avoid things that they have been through. That's the phenomenal part about entrepreneurship is you can learn to highlight struggles as stepping stones to your success, showing resilience and determination. This approach, it actually humanizes your brand and it inspires your audience by proving that setbacks, we've talked about this for the last 10 weeks, but it humanizes you and inspires your audience to prove that your setbacks can lead to growth. I'm a prime example of that. Prime example. I'm not going to go into all of that today, but sharing these stories, it can lead to deep emotional connections with your friends, family, your audience, and those that you're going to be meeting in the future. And helping your audience see themselves in your journey, there's nothing like it. Absolutely nothing like it. And helping them to be able to trust you and to trust your guidance. And when you tell them to do something, they just do it. I follow someone. If she told me to go jump off the bridge, I probably would go jump off the bridge. I trust her that much in her leadership because she's been there, she's done it, and everything she has shared so far has worked. And she's helped me get to where I am today and absolutely turn things around for me. And if she told me to jump off the bridge, I would jump off the bridge. There's not many people I would do that for, but I would know that if I did, I would be okay. And you want people to trust you that much. What are your core values? Do you live by your core values? That's where you want people to be. That's how much you want, as you share your story, you want your core values to come through that. Mine are integrity, trust, connections and relationships. Those go together. Family and impact. Do you live those values? Can your story be seen through your core values? And then crafting a visionary future. Storytelling is not just about where you've been, but it's where are you going? I asked my group this morning, where do they want to be in 2025? Where do they want to end in 2025? We are creating that vision, not for 3 years, not for 5 years, but for 1 year. Where do we want to end in 2025? It's about where you want to go, painting that vivid picture about your brand's future. And you can inspire your audience to lead with your mission and your goals. You need to take them alongside of you and help them get there. And this year, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission this year that I am going to reach my 2025 goals, and I'm taking people with me. You need to visualize that. And I'm asking my group to visualize that, and I'm taking them along with me. Imagine, I want you to imagine this. Imagine describing your vision for 2025 and showing how storytelling can help your business and theirs thrive. Imagine when you get to the end of 2025 and you share your story with someone else, and how at the beginning or at the end of 2024, you had a vision. And by the end of 2025, how this story played out. Do you think people would listen? Do you think people would trust you? Do you think they would follow you? This future forward narrative, it positions you as a leader. It invites your audience to join you on your journey. Just like my audience, I asked them to raise their hand. I said, are you struggling? Are you struggling here at the end of 2024 and you're tired of struggling and you're ready to make 2025 your year? And if so, I want you to raise your hand. And I had a group of them raise their hand and said, I'm tired of struggling. Well, let's turn that story around and let's create a new story. And then let's share that story at the end of 2025. And while some stories are emotional, we can turn them around. Data can add credibility. Data can add depth. And we're creating that data by growing our audience. We're going to show the numbers that they create. They're going to learn how to integrate statistics, milestones, measure those results into their storytelling without losing emotional connection. And so, for example, the people that we've helped, I'm going to show those numbers, inspire and motivate audiences to take action. I hope today, this conversation, I'm going to call it a conversation, not necessarily a podcast, but I hope this conversation has resonated with you. If it has, and you've not already subscribed to this channel, Influence and Growth Mastery, I would love for you to do that. And the next step, if you're not in Influence and Growth Mastery's Facebook group, I want you to do that. Because 2025, we are on a mission to help entrepreneurs and small business owners that are struggling to transform their business through taking action, taking strategies, taking AI, and we're going to create a powerful storytelling message. Together, we're going to tackle challenges like growing audiences, building a brand, and creating content that engages and converts. And so by subscribing and joining the group, you're going to get exclusive tips, resources, and support to make your business goals a reality. So click the link in the description and I want you to join us and let's grow together. Now, until next week, I love you. Let's go master storytelling and practice, practice, practice. I love you guys. I'll see you next week.